The NFL world is mourning today, not just because a talented wide receiver is gone, but because a 25-year-old life filled with promise, ambition, and unfinished dreams has been cut short, as news of Rondale Moore's death has shaken teammates, coaches, fans, and the entire football community to its core, leaving behind disbelief, sorrow, and a haunting question that echoes far beyond the gridiron. How can someone so young, so gifted, and so full of potential be gone so suddenly?
Rondale Moore was more than just a name on a depth chart, more than just a second-round draft pick, more than just a fast and explosive wide receiver. He was a symbol of perseverance, a young man who rose from his hometown roots to national prominence through sheer determination and undeniable talent. First captivating audiences with his electrifying freshman season at Purdue University, where he torched defenses with speed and agility that felt almost unreal, earning recognition as one of collegiate football's brightest young stars. And then carrying that momentum into the NFL, where he entered the league with sky-high expectations and a belief that his best football was still ahead of him. When he was drafted in 2021, analysts praised his versatility, his ability to stretch the field, and his fearless playing style. And though injuries would challenge his journey in ways that tested his resilience, those who worked alongside him consistently spoke about his positivity, his humility, and the relentless energy he brought into every locker room, every practice, every team meeting, because for Moore, football was not just a profession, it was a passion that shaped his identity and connected him with millions of fans who saw in him the embodiment of youthful drive and ambition. His most recent chapter with the Minnesota Vikings represented another opportunity, another fresh start, another chance to prove that setbacks do not define a career. But tragically, that chapter has now ended.
Ended in a way no one could have anticipated. And as tributes pour in from across the league, from former teammates to rival players to coaches who once competed against him, the collective emotion is one of heartbreak and reflection, because this loss transcends team colors, divisions, and rivalries. It is a human loss that reminds everyone in the NFL community that beneath the helmets and highlight reels are individuals navigating pressures most people can hardly imagine. The reported circumstances surrounding his passing have intensified conversations about mental health in professional sports, shining a light on the silent battles that athletes may fight behind closed doors, battles that are not always visible during game day celebrations or post-game interviews. And while investigations continue and details are handled with care and respect for his family, the broader message emerging from this tragedy is clear. No amount of athletic success shields someone from emotional struggles. And no spotlight is bright enough to erase the weight of personal pain. In recent years, the NFL and its players have made strides in addressing mental wellness, expanding counseling services, creating support networks, and encouraging open dialogue. But moments like this underscore that the work is ongoing, that stigma still exists, and that awareness must translate into real, accessible help for those who need it most. Because the strength required to compete at the highest level of professional on-field football must also include the courage to seek support when life becomes overwhelming. Teammates describe Rondale Moore as someone who smiled often, who encouraged others, who brought life into the room even during grueling rehab sessions. And that is perhaps what makes this loss even more difficult to process. The realization that outward energy does not always reveal inward struggle, and that sometimes the strongest-looking individuals carry burdens no one else can see. Fans across social media have shared memories of his most explosive plays, the quick cuts that left defenders grasping at air, the touchdowns that ignited stadiums, the moments that made commentators raise their voices in excitement. But now those same fans are sharing messages of condolence, posting tributes, and reflecting on the fragility of life itself. Because in an instant, statistics and fantasy points fade into the background, replaced by empathy, compassion, and a shared sense of loss. For the Minnesota
Vikings organization, this tragedy is deeply personal, a somber reminder that football is a family, and when one member hurts, the entire family feels it. And across the league, players are reaching out to one another, checking in, reminding each other that beyond contracts and competition, they are brothers united by more than just a game. This moment also challenges fans and media to approach such stories with sensitivity, to remember that headlines represent real families grieving in real time, and to allow space for dignity and respect as loved ones process unimaginable pain. As the NFL prepares to honor Rondale Moore in the coming weeks, whether through moments of silence, helmet decals, or heartfelt tributes from commentators and teammates, his legacy will extend beyond yards gained and receptions recorded, because his story now carries a larger message about humanity, about the importance of connection, and about recognizing that every player on that field is first and foremost a person. The league year may continue, free agency may dominate headlines, and teams may make aggressive roster moves. But for a moment, the entire football world pauses, unified not by competition, but by compassion, reflecting on how precious and unpredictable life can be. And perhaps the most meaningful tribute we can offer is not just remembrance, but action, checking in on friends, supporting mental health initiatives, encouraging open conversations, and understanding that strength is not defined solely by physical performance, but by emotional honesty as well. Rondale Moore's journey, though tragically short, left an imprint on teammates, coaches, and fans who saw in him both talent and heart. And while the stadium lights will dim and seasons will move forward, the memory of his energy, his ambition, and his presence will remain part of the NFL's collective story. In moments like this, sports becomes secondary, replaced by shared humanity. And as we reflect on this heartbreaking loss, we are reminded that every day matters, every conversation matters, and every life carries immeasurable value. If you would like to share your thoughts, memories, or condolences, you can do so respectfully in the comments. And if you believe in supporting conversations around mental health and honoring the lives of those who shaped the game we love, make sure to like this video and subscribe to stay connected for thoughtful, in-depth coverage of the stories that truly matter beyond the scoreboard.
E-board.